Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hello. Oh, we have too many things here. What's this one? Chat box. Remove this guy. Chat restream. Let's bring this one in. Hello everyone, am I audible? Can I get some thumbs up so I can know if everything is good? And looking at the messages in the meantime. Slot says, "Woo." अंतर वसीम कह रहे कौन सी एक्सटेंशन बनाने लगे हो भाई वी आर गोइंग टू मेक एन एक्सटेंशन using which I can see or grab all the messages that you are sending towards the chat. तो आप जो भी chat पे messages भेज रहे हो I will be receiving those and then I will be posting them to Firebase या फिर मैं अपने server पे भेज रहा हूँगा and then you will be playing a game with that. So that is the idea. Answer Wasim, intro. What do you mean by intro? Zishan Elia, Assalamu alaikum. Ahsan bhaiya, what about your health? Humble request, please trying to must announce before live streaming. Zishan, yes, sure, inshallah. I'll try to do that. Usually my schedule is very busy. मैंने अभी जो है वो I finished working on a recipe of Angular Cookbook. तो मैं उस पर काम कर रहा था. I'm trying to wrap it up as soon as possible. तो तो मुझे exactly idea नहीं होता कि when I'll be streaming. But inshallah when the book will be finished और मैं इसको submit कर चुका हूँ to the editors, which is packed, so then I'll have a much more predictable schedule. ठीक है? So thank you so much for bearing with me so far and I highly appreciate the support. Ansar Wasim says yes. Siddharth Mehra says okay. Wouldn't it cost so much storage? No, I don't think so. If you're using Firebase, then no. Mohammad Kamil Amin says yes. Bumping all chats to storage. No, I don't think so. We don't need to keep everything in the storage because what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to look at the messages, send them, I don't know, via Firebase or sockets to my backend. And if I've done that accurately, then I can remove the messages once the session ends. So I don't need to have all the messages stored for eternity, if you understand what I mean. Dime Hack, hey, how's it going, Dime? How are you? Where's everybody from? Which cities are you from? Can you type in the chat which city you're from? And then we'll start coding really quickly. Because I do want to at least get a part of it done today. So we're going to start with the extension, then we'll start looking into the extension itself, and then we'll go from there. Current address. Let's see if I can open the chat here as well. Cool. So I should be able to see the chat as well. Answer is from Lahore. Awesome, Answer. Have you always been in Lahore या आप किसी और सिटी में भी रह चुके हो? आमतौर पे मेरे ख्याल से पाकिस्तान के अंदर लोग ज़्यादातर एक सिटी में ही रहते हैं. बट आई नो सम पीपल जो थोड़ा बहुत शिफ्ट कर चुके हैं और यहाँ पे आई थिंक फॉर एग्जांपल स्वीडन के अंदर इट्स वेरी कॉमन कि आप सिटीज़ चेंज करते रहते हो. ऑलवेज. दैट साउंड्स गुड. ऑसम. Cool. So, are we excited for the extension? क्या हम start करें? We'll be starting with this with a boilerplate that I already am using for one more extension. But I'm gonna share with you the idea what the idea is. So the idea for this extension essentially is that you see this chat. यहाँ पे when I get the messages from you folks, what I want to do is I want to send that to my own server जो local host पे चल रहा होगा. And then what I want to do is I want to pass that from my server to another app. और वो app essentially ये काम कर रही होगी कि it will be displaying a game. तो जब भी कोई game start होगा तो you will be able to then push things to that. For example, मैं आपको show करता हूँ what I want to do. So if I go to Twitch, maybe I can log into my twitch.tv. So for example, if I go here, यहाँ पे I don't know why it doesn't work, but anyways, if I go and add, for example, the game, I think which is on this page. So if I go and look at the I would have to open the CWA Twitch bot. Give me 1 second. Visual Studio Code. Let's open recent, and that was Twitch bot. So if I try to go right here, so this is the app that we were looking at. और इसमें हमारे पास I think if I do cd overlays, nope, cd overlays, and then if I look at the extensions packages on, so if I do npm run dev, so this should start working. So yeah, we have something on localhost. Cool. Then I should also have something running on the Twitch side. So यहाँ पे we can also run npm run dev. So I'm just trying to show you right now what we are going to build. Okay. Listening app to 3000, really good. And now we have the client ID, blah blah blah. Okay. So in this case now what I can do is कि अगर मैं यहाँ पे जाके अपने drop game को refresh कर लूँ, where's the page to refresh? ठीक है. So what I can do now is कि if I send a message from my Twitch, so you'll see what happens on the page. आप देख रहे हो ये जो नज़र आ रहा है, ठीक है. तो what happens is कि कोई भी बंदा अगर Twitch पे अभी जाता है, and if anyone goes to Twitch and they try to send me a message that says drop and has an emoji within that, it essentially gathers that and then it displays that right here. So if you go to Twitch and if you try to send a message there, it doesn't matter which page I'm on, you can see still that thing right now going around. So I think this is really helpful for anyone who can look into the chat or वहाँ से they should be able to see the message. Now the problem is that this only works for Twitch. For example, if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on any other platform, this does not work. And what I want to do is I want to make it work. So ideally what should happen is with this Chrome extension, I should be able to see the messages that are coming in, and then I should be able to grab that message, send it to my server, and then you should also be able to, it doesn't matter which platform you're on, you should be able to do the same thing as well. So if you do something like drop, then you should see this guy or something like this. Maybe I'm not sure if we are going to be able to add emojis to it, लेकिन at least ये game itself जिसमें you see a rocket and it goes there and then it can go crazy. So for example, you could have something like drop this, and I think there's also hi. Let's see if I can go and put a lot of them. So like this, and if I do this and send a message, oops, look at that. So this is a game I built I don't know, in 2021, and on the top here you can see also the score कि किसके ज़्यादा score है. So then we can play games together. Does that sound something interesting to you? क्या हम start करें? Should we start developing this from scratch? And this is going to stay in the live stream zone, so I think you don't have to worry about this getting deleted. So if you want to create something similar, obviously you can. सही हो गया, तो I think we can start working on it. So what I'm going to do now is, let's see how we can get started. So this is the boilerplate that I'm going to start with. And I'm going to keep this in English so people who are not from Pakistan can also understand this. But if you feel like you don't understand something, just stop me and then we can start. And I'm going to be asking a lot of questions from you on how we want to develop. Okay. So how do we want to do this? So clone this repository, change the package name, description repository, change the name of your extension, npm install, npm run start, load your extension from following. So what should we name this extension? Should we call it Restream restream helper or restream buddy. What should we call this? Because this application that I'm using is called restream, and when we open the extension is going to run here, so it will display some sort of input that we can say, all right, now start looking into or start working on this. And yeah, then that's pretty much it. What should we name this extension? Kamil says restream buddy. That's a good suggestion. Any other suggestions? What should we name this? And in the meantime, I'm gonna start working with the packages. So let's start with the terminal. Did the Warp team develop something for Windows? Warp Windows. What? Warp terminal reimagined. Get notified when the Warp is available. It's not available for Windows yet. I want to be notified when this happens. So please do it when this happens. So WebAssembly, Linux, Windows. I think Windows is the one I want to look into. Linux maybe, but not really sure. But maybe, yeah. Get get notified. ठीक हो गया. Unknown7 says, just joined. What you will be doing today? We are working on a Chrome extension that should look into these messages and should be able to then send a message to my server, so we can play a really cool game like this one. So we can do something like drop, and whoever sends a message will get a rocket that would be running on my stream. So then we can play this game, and I think the extension can be used by then anyone to do a lot of cool stuff, to be honest. Okay, so this is what I want to do. So we're gonna start with the Chrome extension. So clone this repository. Which is the repository? This should be right here, and this is the boilerplate. So I'm gonna share it with you as well. And you can see it is like 2.7 thousand stars. Amazing work by Xiyang, if I'm pronouncing the name right. But essentially, let's clone this really quick. And the last commit was on Jan 15. There's some issues, there's some pull requests, but I used it for one of the things and it seemed to be working fine. Lotse, hey, how's it going, Lotse? So let's use our old little terminal then. So let's go to cd personal YouTube. Let's do a git clone, and we are gonna call this Chrome extension React Buddy. So the only name that I've got so far is React Buddy. Does anyone have a good name for this extension? Oh, not React Buddy, but Restream Buddy. So the extension is for the Restream chat. If anyone has a better name than React Buddy or Restream Buddy, type in the chat and we'll see. Social Restream. That could be nice. I'm not sure if I have a way of getting a poll. Do I have a... No. If I go to the dashboard, do I see a way of taking a poll from you? Maybe not. I mean, I can go here. I have a bunch of things here, but I don't think I have a way of looking at... I mean, I have a way of looking at the chat, but I don't have a way of looking at any other thing. And now it's going to be Inception all over. I mean, I can think of a few things that we could actually use this extension for. For example, if I wanted to ask ask a poll, I could save my polls and use that. That could be one of the things. Do you remember hype style? Lots. Yeah, I remember that. Stream mate. I like this one, stream mate. So let's go with the stream mate. I actually like this one a lot. So let's go with stream mate. Restream mate. Restream mate. Sounds like roommate. But I like it. So let's clone this into the repository. Let's code with Chrome extension restream mate. I'm gonna close this guy here, and then we can start working on it. So the documentation says that I should be cloning this repository, change the package name, description, and repository for the fields in the package. We also want to add this. So let's add this into. I think we can add this into. Sir, Pogum's skip last part was too hard to understand watching multiple times. Yes, I can imagine it can take a bit of time. Yes. So the owner, I think I'll put it in my account and then I'll move it later on if need be. And we named it Chrome extension restream mate. And the reason I'm giving this restream mate is because then we can start then we can maybe pitch this to restream itself as well. So let's add this. Do I have my Twitter logged in? No. Okay. Then let's not do it. Cool. That also makes sense. Let's go to discord.com as well. And open Discord. Let's also make sure that we are announcing about this live stream to everyone as well. So get shareable link, copy here. Let's put this live here as well. So let's do an announcement. Everyone, we are live. Cool. And let's remove this. So we changed the package name and the description and everything else. So let's go with that. This is the package JSON. So now I'm using, again, for those of you who have just joined, I'm using this boilerplate repository. So you're supposed to go to this npm.js, find the GitHub link, go there, and then on the GitHub you can follow then all the steps. So I've cloned the repository. I'm changing the package name, description, and repository field. Now that we have the repository already, we can look into it. Where was my repository? So this is the repository. So I'm going to use this link in just a bit. So let's go back here. Now this is Chrome extension boilerplate React. Let's change it and find it everywhere and then change it. So this is now going to be called Chrome, and you do it by Control-Shift-F. So you find it across your repository, right? Then we have Chrome ext restream mate. So let's quickly do that. We're going to replace this. And because this is the easiest way, otherwise I would have to go to every file and do it. So I think this is the easiest way of doing it. The version here, I'm going to change this as well, since this is the first time I'm going to be doing it. So package version can be 0.0.1, right? I can save this. And then here I can say a Chrome extension built for restream chat. Okay. License MIT URL would be the GitHub link that I have. So I'm going to use mine, right? And .git. And then we can have a script. Let's not change the scripts at all. React version 18 is being used, blah, blah, blah. Everything seems to be nice. Now the next thing in here is running npm install. Change the name of your extension in manifest.json. This is something I skipped. So let's change the name as well. So source manifest.json is gonna be restream mate. A Chrome extension. Let's copy this from the package JSON. So this one, oops. Let's copy this, paste this guy right here, and now we are good. I'm gonna look at the questions as well, and let's also enable the chat. Why is the chat? Wait a second. Why is the chat not visible? Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Now you can see the chat as well. Sir, can you tell us the flow of making a dynamic website? I mean, sometimes I don't understand how to start doing the JavaScript, having so many elements and everything. The key is to do one thing at a time. If you do too many things at the time, or if you think of too many things at one time, it's gonna seem very difficult. So think about the next step. What is the next step in this whole dynamic thing that you want to do, and just focus on that. That's what I do usually. So you can see there's so many things with this extension that we would have to do, but I'm not thinking about that at the moment. I'm going step by step. So now that we have changed this in manifest.json, we run npm install. So let's go to our code. And here, I'm going to open the terminal. And you can do it by going here, terminal, new terminal. And here I can run npm install. So let's run this. And I think in package.json, we also had maybe the author name as well. Is there the author name here? No, I don't think so. Then we are good. Cool. So now that we have done this, and feel free to ask any questions in the meantime while we are coding. This is supposed to be an interactive session, not just me coding. So now that we have this, I think it's time for us to send this or push this. So I'm gonna do git init, reinitialize existing git. No, I should be doing npm or rm rf.git. So I need to remove the git repository. Now I can do git init, and then I can say git. Let's go to the my repository. So this one has a script already that is git remote add origin. So I'm going to copy this one, paste this one here. Now I can see git remote, I can see origin, git remote get URL origin, and I see that this is my SNIR's repository. Now I can see git status. So I have all these files which are not tracked at all. So I need to first track them, stage them, and then push them. And if you're not familiar with Git, I would encourage you to go to the channel, and here you should be able to find a video about Git. I believe this is one of the best videos that you can find over the internet about Git and the GitHub workflow. It's really good. If you've not seen it, you should see it. And this also shows you about how to create pull requests, blah blah blah. Anyways, coming back to this, I now can go and do this. So git status, git add dot, git commit m. I think in the readme as well, we probably should name the change. So Chrome extension boilerplate. Let's change this to Chrome extension for restream chat. Blah blah blah. And here I can actually mention my name, and I can actually search if there are multiple instances of this. So copyright as well, and or the license as well as the other. So this is an MIT license. So I think this I can distribute is as it is, or even change it if I wanted to. So Muhammad Ahsan Ayaz. Here we can change this to CodewithAhsan.dev, and I can also change it here as well. Okay, and 2023. Okay, so let's change this. Let's quickly add this again. Git commit m, and here we can say initial commit and do a git push. So we should have now all the files here, right? You can see now here. Now that we have this, let's start working with this. So how do we start? If you look at the development, I think it should be right here, installing and running. So Node.js should be version 18 plus. I already have that. Running npm install, already did that. Npm start is the one that we want to do. So for a Chrome extension, what you do is you run in this repository, you can run npm start. This will start the web server for us. But more importantly, what this will do is, okay, I think we can keep these ones for now, but we'll see. So now if I go and close all of these, once this builds with Webpack, the extension itself, you will see, you will see a build folder. And this is important because this is where the extension starts. So now that I have this, I can actually go and add this Chrome extension to my browser. So if I go here, you probably can't see it, but let me show you. So in here, you go to update, you click it. Here you should have extensions, manage extensions. Once you do this, you can then go and make sure that you have developer mode turned on. Maybe I should make the Chrome browser a bit smaller so everyone can then follow and I don't have to keep changing this. So here you need to select the developer mode 100 so it's visible and it's turned on. Once you have this, you'll click load unpacked, and then you need to go to the folder where you have the code. So I'm going to go here, right click here, go where is it? Find in folder. No, reveal in file explorer. I can copy the link from here, and then I'm gonna go to my browser again, and here I can paste it. So in the build folder, this is what I need to select. So I'm gonna say select folder, and now you can see that we have the restream mate 0.0.1, a Chrome extension filter restream chat right here. Yay! Now the only thing is that there are some errors, so we are going to look at why those errors are there. I saw a message by unknown7. Do you speak Swedish fluently now? No, I haven't taken the Swedish lessons yet. All right. Have I missed any other messages? No, I have not. Cool. So now that I have this, let's see the error. So here it says return new driver, background bundle, anonymous function, blah, blah, blah. So it says WebSocket connection to this failed, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, clear all. I reload this extension. I don't see any problems now. I see errors now. Oh, so Webpack server is not happy for some reason. ls off, I, TCP 3000. Let's see what's running on 3000. Oh, you can't run it in Windows? All right, let's have a look. Windows, find, oops. I open this. Windows, find which Node.js process running on 3000. I think it's netstat or something. For Linux Macs, this is the one. Yeah, netstat. Yeah, that's the one. So then if I go here, netstat, oops, too many processes. What is the PID? Is this the PID? And then I should be type your PID. So tskill. Okay. I now see this guy. So this. Okay. Then is this the one? Okay. And netstat. Okay, so now nothing is running. Cool. So now I can run npm start and let's see. Muhammad Afan says, I feel so happy to see your channel and shared with my friends too. Peace following you for the past 1 year more, I guess. So thank you so much, Afan. Highly appreciate it. It's amazing how many people are getting benefited from it. Okay, so now let's have a look at the extensions again. So if I clear this all, I go and reload the extension like this. Let's see if I get any errors. You didn't get any errors? That's good. So I don't get any errors now. And the reason because I was getting some errors is there was some process running on localhost 3000 because I run a lot of applications on 3000. Now I don't also get any errors. But the beauty of this is that now with this boilerplate, I can see my restream mate right here. And if I click this, I see React. Yay! Look at that. So now I have a page that I can work with, and yeah, this is super amazing. And I can change stuff, see it in real time and whatnot. So if I go to my page here, I can go to the pages, pop-up, and pop-up JSX, and here is my page. So here I could say, for example, I can write the names of you and other people that we have here. So we have Answer, we have Afan. Who do we have here more? I see Afan being from multiple platforms. So unknown7. And now here you can see the names here. So this is really good because now I can fastly develop a lot of things, right? Okay, now there's one thing that is really interesting, and that is if I want my application or my extension to work only on certain pages, I can see I can say to this extension that only run on these pages, right? So I'll do that now. Now there are errors again. Yeah, I saw the errors, but I'm not really sure which ones are these. So it says React refresh failed to set socket connection. I think we don't need to worry about this one. And this is a warning for some reason. So I can clear this. And if I open the extension again, if I go here, open the extension again, maybe we'll get more errors. But this one is socket connection, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we have to worry about these ones, to be honest. It's fine. Okay, so yes. Okay, so then now we have all these things. I think we can go to the manifest JSON to only say that this is where you should be running all the pages. So here you can see that in the content scripts, because now what we want to do is we want to be able to get all these messages and look at every new message that comes in and see if that message contains a particular thing. Let's say drop me. If that's the case, then what I want to do is I want to send that message. And for that, there's a couple of things that you should understand. So maybe if I can exactly draw, you might understand more. So we have three different things. In Chrome extension, we have a bunch of contexts. So this, and this. This one, let's put it there. Let's put it like green. Oh, this looks so much like the other one. Green. So we have a particular, what do you call it? So we have the pop-up. Asif Khan, bro, kaise ho? Hi, are you, bro? I'm good. Thank you for asking. Asif, aap kaise ho? So one is the pop-up. Second is the content script. And then we also have something called background. Or background. Let's call it background. So we have these three things that actually work together. And जो यहाँ पे pop-up है, the pop-up that is here, this, if I click something here and if I want something to happen on the page runs content script. So you can see the content script on each page. For example, if I open the DevTools now, since I have my extension running, you'll see something. If I refresh the page, everything would be gone. But here you see that an insecure socket.js connection not be initiated for a page loaded over HTTPS. And that means that I cannot run it from my, if I have my extension in the dev mode, this will not work on a real page. And that is what it means. So in this particular case, I should be only saying something like, if I have built it, then it would work. So then I need to do a couple of things in order to sort of make it work, right? So what do we do now? I want to be able to see if my extension, if I click a button from my extension, can I make it so that it sends a message over the Chrome APIs, and then on the other hand, I can get that information and then run or see all the messages. So for that, I would want you to send a lot of messages in the chat so I can see those messages. So try typing in the message drop. This is what I want you to send all the time. Okay, so when you do drop, you're going to be able to see that message like this, and this is the end result. We want to see the game. Bakhtiar Hussain, hello, great to see you. Great to see you too, brother. Cool. Okay, so you send a drop. Now you can see that, and this should be exclamation drop. So not just drop, but exclamation drop. And yes, in Chrome, it is sort of an asynchronous message passing. So when you send a message, it goes to the other side. I'm gonna show you in just a bit. So let's see. Let's add a focus mode for a couple of minutes. And I have already an extension that I can take inspiration from. So if I go to apply technology / GitHub, no. Let me try to find this. So GitHub. Yes, so I do have already an extension that I built and that works. So in this case, I can go to pages, pop-up, and the pop-up TSX. So in this case, what we do is we use the Chrome send action to tabs. Chrome.tabs.send message and then the tab ID that is right now being used. So I can go to the documentation as well, and I can also not go to the documentation as well and just look it from here. But you'll still learn a lot of things from here. So what I want to do is I want to use the Chrome tabs to see if my stream chat is enabled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to popup.js, and this is React, of course, as you can see. What I want to do is I want to create a state where I can save the current tabs which match my manifest.json. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to be able to see those, and this is not supposed to run on every single page possible. It should work on just my page, because I can show you that this extension that we built, this only runs on GitHub. So if I go to manifest.json, you can see here that it only runs on any local pages, and then it runs on any pages which have sort of this sort of criteria. So I wanted to run on restream.io/chat. So I'm going to change this HTTPS to actually this, because I want this to run on only the chat and not all URLs. So I'm going to remove that. Now I need to reload the application. So I'm going to go to popup.js, save this guy, go to my extensions and reload this. Now, if I go to, for example, Twitch and look at my extension, you can see that the restream mate, it says no access needed, but I need to reload this as well. So look at this extension, and now you can see the restream mate here as well. I probably should remove this and retry this again. So let's see, remove restream mate, load unpacked, select the folder, reload it, go here, open the extension. Here it says no access needed. These extensions don't need to see and change information on this side. Okay, then I was wrong. So this extension cannot work because this does not require any access, which is good. If I go here and open the console, you can see that there's no connection being made. And we already discussed that since my application is not running on the build time or on it's running in the dev mode, we can't run it. But if I go to run npm run build and we build the extension and then we go to the page, then you are going to see that the content script also works. I mean, I could run npm start again, yes. But what I wanted to show was, now if I go to the inspect and go to console, you can see that now there are a bunch of things that are here. But if I go to my extensions and if I go and reload the extension, now if I go to restream chat and if I click this guy, right? And let's say if I open this in a duplicate tab because I don't want to lose the stream. And if I open this now, you can see now we don't get those errors. So content script works. must reload extension for modifications to take effect. Okay, so now you know. So in this case, when I was running from here, we were seeing a bunch of errors like it doesn't work on the dev mode. But when you run with the npm run build and then you use the extension, then the content script works. And this content script is able to do a lot of magic. So let's do one of the things. So if I open this code with SN again into a new tab, and if I go here on the console, here you don't see that message at all. Because in the manifest, we have said that this extension or the content scripts are only supposed to run on this page, right? So in that particular situation, then that means that we don't have to worry about anything at all. Okay. Let's actually make it starts, and then we'll probably change later on. So restream io / *. But in any case, if I open a duplicate page of restream chat, and if I open the console, you can see the content script works here. Cool. That makes sense to everyone. Mohammad Afan says, sir, any tips to make a website mobile responsive? It's quite hectic to do it as a beginner. There's no shortcut to it. So it's like going to the gym and doing the initial weightlifting or learning a new skill. So it's up to you. As a beginner, you will have to spend a lot of time to actually understand everything, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, there's no shortcut to it. The tip would be to look at a lot of tutorial about responsive web design and then try to do them as well. The more you code, the more times you do it, the better you get at it. For example, the first time I created an extension, it took me a lot of time. Now I think I'm doing it a bit faster. If you're still concerned about the responsive part, I would highly suggest that you go and try to do this bootcamp, the 2022 one. In this one, we also talk about the mobile responsiveness and responsive menu. So I would encourage you to actually start from the beginning, but you could actually go and just do it in the last one as well. Okay, so yeah, let's get back to the extension thingy. So in this case, now what I want to do is I want to just have a button that can get the current tab that we have on the chat and then look at the ID and then go from there. So what I want to do here is I want to have a button, and on the click of this button, I want to do something. So we'll say, for example, start looking at messages. Let's do something like that. So I can say something like const start observing messages, right? And then when I click this button, this is what should happen. So here is how this should start working. This is JSX. I'm going to convert this to TSX, by the way. And I'm mixing Angular with React. Okay, this should be the one. Yeah, that's what happens when you work with too many frameworks. So I'm going to also convert this to TSX because by default it works with TSX. But then I would have to change the extension of everything. So let's quickly do that. So pop-up TSX is going to be the one. This is going to be index TSX. And then wherever it says pop up, I need to change that. So this one then becomes, I think there was something with TSX. No. Chunks pop up. That's fine. Then we have pop up, default pop up HTML pop up, blah, 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 index, blah, blah, blah. And then I think we have everything under control. All right, let's run the app again in dev mode, and then we are going to switch as well. Unknown says, when you write Angular for too much. Yes, I code Angular like every day. So here now it says field browser doesn't contain a valid alias configuration. What do you mean? No, so something is wrong. Let's quickly fix that. I don't think it's gonna take much time. So here, do we have anything that relates to pop-up? So this is the one. Okay, we have pop-up HTML, content scripts, which have these, right? Then we have our webpack config. This takes pop-up. Chunk is pop-up as well. Then we have pop-up index JSX. Let's change this to TSX. And let's also try to find, because there is supposed to be one example with TSX. And let's see if I can compile this again. Because I do remember from the previous extension, there should be a TSX possibility. So if I go to the original one, TSX, TypeScript. Okay, so TypeScript, if I wanted to do that, what, go back. TypeScript. The boilerplate now supports TypeScript. The options page is implemented using TypeScript. Please refer to the page's options for example usages. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that everything works. All we had to change was just the TSX extension. So again, if you want to convert everything from JavaScript to TypeScript, all you need to do is to go to webpack config and change this pop-up from index JSX to index TSX, and it should work. Jay Balaji, sure. Give me 1 second. I just want to fix these before everything else. So let's do this. Cannot find module or its types. Are we using logo anywhere? Let's remove the logo for now. What does this say? Say button, click, and then we have a function that we are trying to work with, but did we change anything in the give me 1 second. So for this pop-up to work properly, did we have to change anything in the TypeScript configuration? I want to see the TypeScript config. So lib dom es next. Do we have React anywhere? JSX is React. Okay, I'm gonna see the TypeScript config that I have as well. Okay, so we do have JSX React here. Dom iterable, blah blah blah. Why does this cry? It's on click, that's why. Still, it's still going with Angular. So here, let's do console.log test. Okay, so now that we have this, and then we also call this guy, I think we should be good. So now if I go to my extensions, reload the extension, go to restream chat, click this guy, click restream mate, and click this. If I right click and inspect this, I should be able to see in the console, and this should be top extension. If I click this guy a bunch of times, I should be able to see tests right here. So you can see that if we need to debug the extension, this is how we would do it. Answer says it's on click. Yes, exactly. That's what I was missing. So now if I click here, I can actually debug this as well. So if I click this now, you can see I can debug this, go inside. So it's a really good overall experience with React. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is to be able to connect with the tabs. So what I want to do is I want to take out the tab and send a message to it. So what I want to do is I want to do Chrome, because we have the Chrome namespace right here, and tabs dot query, and then I can do a query on the Chrome tabs, and then you can do Chrome tabs documentation extension tabs documentation, and you can look it from here. So you can find a lot of things. For example, my action tabs permission, host permission, active tab permission. So I don't want to access all the tabs that the user is running. So I don't want all the tabs. I just want the active tab. So in this case, I need to have the permission that is active tab permission. Okay. Once you have this permission, then you can essentially work with the rest of the things as well. So I'm going to add this permission now as an active tab. Let's see. Is my headphones battery gone? No, it's not. Okay. So now what I need to do is get the current tab, and the get current tab means I'm gonna do query options, active true, last focus window true, and this is how I can get the current tab. Okay. So that means I can go here and do something like in the manifest JSON, Do we have permissions anywhere? No, we don't. So then I need to do this, and I need to say permissions active tab. Once we have this, then we need to go to our pop-up TSX and then create this function. And then I can go and say, hey, I have a async function. I'm going to make it an arrow function. So we do const current tab equals async, and then the actual arrow. And then what I want to do is to get the current tab. And then here in this start observing messages, I want to just say get current tab. Okay. So I can say const tab equals await get current tab. So I can say async. And then I can say tab dot, and then it should be I can use this to send a message. So I think it's something called post message. No, message, pass a message to a selected tab's content script. Yes. So here, send message to active tab. So we have Chrome tabs query, active true, response, send a message. So Chrome tabs send a message, and the tab ID. So this is the one. So then I can say something like const response equals await chrome.tabs.send a message, and then we have a tab.id, and then we have the message that we want to send. So we can say hello from popup. So now here, since we are using TypeScript, it's going to be a bit difficult but also fun. So we have the types already. So now this tab essentially is supposed to be a Chrome tabs tab. This tab.id, it says it can be a number or it can be a undefined. Type undefined is not assignable to type number. So the active tab, I think, is always going to have an ID of its own. So I'm going to use the ID exclamation, which means that it is supposed to be an ID, and I know it's going to be an ID. And then I can say something like console.log response. Okay. Now let's try this again. So I'm going to go to this current tab, and I'm going to actually go to the extension, restream mate. And if I inspect this, go here, go to sources, pop-up TSX should be right here. And then I should be able to see, where's my extension? Oh, let's also put a console log so I can go directly to there. So console.log. And here I can say pop-up being rendered. Notice that this line is inside the whole function. It's not in any use effect. So this line renders, or this line will be executed every time the component renders. So now if I go here, I can see pop-up being rendered right here. If I click this, I go here, and now I can essentially debug this as well. I don't know where did my source thingy go. Anyways, so now that I have this, I can say that this function, where's my function? Get current tab, and then start observing messages. So this one. And this is a compiled code when you use promises, right? So then if I go here, and if I try to click this button, now I should go ahead and I should be able to send a message, but you will see an error that no matching signature. So tabs query, object query info, on click, no tab signature. So there's no tab ID that we got, or maybe we have some code that we forgot to remove. Let's see. So in this case, we go to chrome.tabs.query. Oh, this one. So yeah, we forgot to remove that. Let's do npm start again, or actually I'm going to do npm run build. So we can see this working in the app. Sir, is it possible to save a screenshot using Chrome extension? Yes, it is. You should be able to do it, yes. I'm not sure how, but yes, you should be able to do it. So let's go to the browser again. I'm going to go to my extensions. I'm going to clear the errors, reload the extension completely. And then if I go to this page, then I can say this. And now I have the extension that I can open. I'm also going to open the inspector here so we can see the messages. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna click here, click the restream mate, click the button, and now it says cannot establish connection. Receiving end does not exist, undefined. And that's most likely because we have the Chrome ID or the tab ID that doesn't work. So let's see. So we have the test here. Start observing messages. So if I close this, click this again, it goes inside. Let's see where the code is for the observer. So here we have tab ID. So let's put a breakpoint here. Now if I hit play, play, here we should have the tab ID. So the tab is undefined, so it cannot get the current tab. Why can't it get the current tab? Why cannot it get the current tab? That's an interesting thing right there. Did we miss some code? So await get current tab. It tries to get the current tab. Tab will either be a tabs or tab instance or undefined. Okay. So we have query here. Then what this returns is promise with Chrome tabs tab. And that should return one single tab. Okay, so the active one is true. It could be something with the restream IO. I'm not really sure. Hmm. All right, let's try to make sure that this is chat. So we can build this again. And then the tab is supposed to be here. Let's also do console log here. Since we are using the build, I think it's better to do a console log. Active tab is supposed to be tab. And let's see if we can then make it work. Just remind me to take a break because we have been coding for quite a while now. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go to the extensions. Let's remove the extension. Load unpacked. Go to select folder. Now we have the extension. We can go here. I'm going to try to refresh this page so we can see the message as well. Not secure connection. Why? That's a bit weird, but we'll see. So restream mate here. If I go and click restream mate, it can't establish connection. What? Why though? And let's also pin this. If I click this and if I click this, this says the other end is not existing because the content script doesn't work. So this says could not be. But that's a bit weird. If I open the new page and if I inspect it, no, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Pop-up index.ts, manifest.json. It's chat.restream.io. Hmm. Let's also see if we get any errors due to anything weird. Background bundle size, blah, blah, blah. WebSocket connection, that's a different thing. If I reload this, wait for a while, I get errors that is trying to do a WebSocket connection. But why does it do a WebSocket connection to the dev mode when it's actually not really the dev mode since we have built it? Something is weird. Let's see. So the content script should not be here at all. Yeah, it's not. It should not be here as well. But the content script bundle does try to connect with that. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, why that would be the case. Let's try to delete the build folder and then let's try again. So I'm going to delete this guy, close this. Your file couldn't be accessed. Okay, that makes sense. So if I go here, I can remove this completely. Run build again. Manifest JSON, blah, blah, blah. And then we should have it added. So we can do a source. No. Why don't we have a build folder already? We have a zip folder. What? Mm-mm-mm. Are we supposed to, okay. Are we supposed to load the zip then? No. Pack extension? No. What happened? Wait a second. When we go to our webpack config, we should have our build folder. And when we ran the builds before it, wait a second. Start. And let's also delete the zip. Okay, so this creates a build folder. When we run the build or folder, does that change anything at all? Now I see a bunch of messages, but does that create a zip folder as well? No. If I delete, no, wait a second. If I delete everything from the build folder, does it then create it? Okay, so now if I try to do the same thing, let's see. I think the build folder still needs to be there and it creates then the files in it. Or no? This is a bit weird. What's happening? So if I try to do a build, okay, developer mode, click on load. Okay, so after the developer extension, run the command. Okay, so we need to run env production and run npm build. Now the content of the build folder with extension ready submitted from the Chrome Web Store. Take a look at blah blah blah. So then how about we add it right here? So if I run the build prod, then it should be this. So if I run npm run build prod, this should run it. Now you also need the Chrome extension for or the cross environment extension as well. So let's see. Cancel cross env npm. So we should have something like this. Cross env node env production webpack. So npm install save dev cross env. And I'm using this because this command doesn't work in Windows. It works on Linux and Mac, but it doesn't work on Windows. So when we run cross env node env production, now it should work. So now if I run npm run build prod, yay! This should be able to generate the build folder with the actual code. Why don't I see anything at all? Cd build. This is a bit weird. So if we run npm run build prod with the verbose, so exit is 0. It installed everything, completed. But where's my build? That's super weird. And it works fine if I run npm start though. Maybe it is supposed to work in a way that it starts with npm run, and then when you run npm run build, then it maybe replaces a bunch of things. Not really sure though. So like this file, bundle.js, does that get changed? I think it does. Anyways, let's see. So now if I try to go to my extensions, load unpacked, select the build folder, do this, go to restream, refresh the page. No, it still says the same thing. May not be initiated from the page loaded over HTTPS. So it says dev server started, hot model replacement enabled, but I don't want the dev server. This is super weird because it used to work before fine. So I'm gonna say rmrf node modules. Let's see. I'm gonna reinstall the package and then let's see. Because the build should create the build in the build folder, and it doesn't for some reason. All right, let's see. rmrf build npm run build. What do you think is happening? Anybody has in the stream any idea why we don't get the build folder? So now it has built something, but I don't still have a build folder at all. Config mode is production, zip file, webpack config, blah blah blah. When we run the build, it runs utils build.js. It is supposed to write. So this should come here, Babel environment, node environment, asset path. Then does it. Then it gets these webpack config. It gets the package info. Config mode is production. Does that. Does that. It doesn't even now instantiate the zip file. No, I'm super confused on what could be the reason. So we have car cnv. Have we installed anything else? Packages on. Has build prod, just cross env, nothing fancy. This just set the index.ts. We have the permissions active tab. I think maybe just the active tab permission could be the issue, and we have just changed this, right? So I think still it should be, maybe it's because of this that the build is not being created. Create root container. Maybe that's the reason. Let's see. So let's see if the build is created now. Yeah, that was the reason. Okay, so now we know that was the reason. So if there's any error, then the build folder doesn't just create it. Okay. So now that we know what was the reason, let's go to the extension. Let's reload this guy. Let's go to restream, refresh. Now we have the content script working. We go to the extension. We go to restream made. We click this guy. And we get no errors, which is good. So then if we try to see... Ma? Ajo. Assalamu alaikum. Ta? Ajo. Oh yeah. चलें जी, अब आप ज़रा इनको देखिए कुछ वक्त. And let's see what this guy does. सुबह हो गई है. जगोबा जगो. ओहो टोफो. सो रहे थे आप, सो रहे थे. ओहो इतना दूर पड़ा हुआ है वो. ओफो ये लो. जाओ बाबा बाबा.
ये क्या काम किया आपने? क्या ऑन कर दिया ये?
माँ ऑलराइट. अब खैर नहीं है. ओ या ओ ओ को. थे. वो कौन बच्चा बैठा हुआ है? ये बच्चा था. ये बच्चा बैठा हुआ था. बाबा अच्छा. चलेंगे आप अब? अगर आप चलें तो हम कुछ कर लें काम. हो तो यो ओ ओहो ओहो. चलें शall we? तो कीबोर्ड का कबाड़ा हुआ जा रहा है. चलो मैं आपको छोड़ के आता हूँ तो वी कैन कंटिन्यू इट. ठीक है. सही है. चोको. नहीं 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 ना. चलो आ जाओ जल्दी से चलते हैं. आ जाओ. चलो I'll be right back. Allah. Half an hour maybe. All right, let's see. You can continue with this. Cool. Awesome. Am I audible? Everyone, can I get a thumbs up in the chat? Let's open our keyboard as well, the mouse as well. Okay. So when we click this, we can also look into the messages. So here it says undefined for the tab. Yes, exactly. There's something wrong with this. So active tab is undefined, which means that it cannot get the active tab for some reason. So we need to go to our web manifest again. Because there was an issue with the code for TypeScript. That's why it wasn't being built. So I need to add the active tab again, and we can also say chat for now. And when you build it with this, then I think it should be fine. So you need to put the permissions of active tab, otherwise it won't get it. And then you also need to have the chat as well. Okay. So now that we have this, you need to go to your browser, go to extensions, reload this, clear the errors, go to restream, click this, go to restream made, inspect this, and now you should be able to see this guy right here. So if I go to console, click right here. Now, okay, it says active tab still not being there. What? Why? So when we do Chrome tabs query, okay, let's try this. Let's go to the development mode again. So npm start. We do have active tab now, right? So we're gonna have to refresh the page, go to our extension, reload this. So everything is reloaded now. Now I need to go here again, open restream, go to build, and now let's see here. So in this case, now I should be able to see the click, and we try to go to the current tab. And now I think what we need to do is at least to remove this this line where this says send the message. Let's keep it out of there for now, so we can actually get the current tab first. So I'm gonna actually say remove this send message for now, and the response as well. So last focus window true. I think this probably doesn't need to be there, but the active true should still be there. So active boolean. So this, if I try to do it now, does it get me the active tab? No. Then should we, so now I get the active tab, you can see. So the last focus window, that's the problem. So you can remove the last focus window thingy, true, and you can just say the active true, and then it should work. So now if I go to my tab, go to inspect, click this, and you can see that I now get the tab, and this also has the tab ID. Okay, so try doing that. All right, so now that we've got the tab, we can move forward with the response as well. So let's do this. I'm gonna do npm run build. Now that we are getting it, we need to do the send message to the chat. Let's quickly do that. Cool, awesome. So now you can go and reload the extension. I'm gonna go to restream. I'm gonna open this guy, go here, click this, and there's no error, which means that it was also able to send the message. Could not establish condition. Oh no, the receiving end does not exist. I need to refresh this page. And now the content script is up to date. If I click now, no, it still says the receiving end is not there. So the tab ID, this guy, is not running the, is it not running the background script? Or is it not running the, wait a second. So content script from the extension which was restream made, So content script works. If I go to the restream mate extension, too many restream mate, I don't know why. But if I just go to the top or the content script itself, I think it should be working. Let's look at the content script. So this is the module print.js. From the print module, this is the index.js. Content script works. Oh, it's, I think, because we are not listening to the content. We're not listening to the content. So if I do index, this is the background page, put the background scripts here, and the content is here. So let's put the content script. So send message, and we should be able to receive the message as well. So we have use cases, blah blah blah. Listen, so we have the send message here, right? We should also have something called on message. Wait a second. Send request, ungroup, set zoom, move, query, reload, remove, highlight, blah blah blah. All right. So in this case, if I go to content script, wait a second. So content script, on message. So this is what we are looking for. So in this case, we should have Chrome runtime on message add listener callback, and then this is supposed to receive the message. So then in here in the content script, we can go ahead and say content chrome.runtime.on message add listener, and then this is supposed to be a function, and this is gonna receive the message. So we have a message that comes in here. The message is supposed to be of type string. So add listener has a message and then the sender as well, right? So then if we say message, then we can console log the message itself, and we can also add something like message from popup, something like that, in content script, and then we have the message, right? So now we can run the build again, and then we can see the message in content script, hopefully. And then we reload the extension. Then we go to our extensions, restream made us pin this as well. And now if we click it, nothing happens at the moment. We need to refresh the page, I'm assuming. And now I should be able to do this and do this. And does it say could not establish connection, receiving end does not exist? This is a bit weird. So we have cron runtime on message add listener. This should have set, if I go to restream made or the restream made, let's see. So we have just one extension, but I don't know why do we have so many restream made here. If I try to go here and open this guy, and then if I go pop-up mirror, this background page, then we have the active tab, and the active tab does not get the message there. So on message dot listeners, find a message and send from either an extension process or content script. The message is here. What do we want here? Sender, send response. Ideally, this should be working. pop-up being rendered. If I go and try this again, the top itself doesn't count. Okay, let's see. So if I refresh this page, I have the content bundle, which should get triggered once we have the message, but it does not do it. So in this case, it's adding this to the runtime. And should I be listening to the messages once they come? Okay, let's have a look. I think I am missing one part of it. So in my other extension, what I usually do is when I send a message from my component, for example, tab actions, I send it the message and action to tabs. Essentially does it no, this comes from the tabs. No, it does come from the pages, pop-up DSX, send actions to tab. So it does chrome.send message. Okay, then if I go to the background, do we do anything in the background? No, we don't do anything in the background. Then if I go to my content script, then the content script I do use the listener. So we have request, sender response, and then this should be it. But it looks like the same thing that we have. Are we are we are we building it correctly? Let's see. So on message, add an event listener. Should be the message, sender, response. Now we have it and the build. Let's go again here. So what are the errors that we're getting? Clear all, reload. So there should be no errors at least now. And if I go and reload this, we're gonna see the errors here as well. Play. Any errors? No. So if now I try to go to extension, click this, then we get an error. What is the error here? So uncaught could not establish connection, receiving end does not exist. Hello Sohib, क्या हाल है? How are you doing? Why would that be an issue? So in this case, if we look at on message, then this should be fired when a message sent from the by runtime blah blah blah, messenger, message sender, and response function. Okay, cannot be used in a content script. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking. Are we still sending the message? Yes. The message is supposed to be a string. Also, yes. But then we don't get a response. So in this one, we still define this content script bundle.js, permissions active tab is there as well. I'm unsure at this moment, but let's see. So if I go here, if I refresh this, and if I refresh the page as well, which means I'm gonna be refreshing the content script as well. Let's also do disable cache. Okay, we have disable cached. This should be good. And now if I go and click this guy, no. So every time we click that, we get an error that says the receiving end does not exist. I wonder why. So this one, when we send a message, hello from popup, t.send, and then we should have a console log here as well. But then it fails in the process, so I think it's not gonna, yeah, it's not gonna work. So we do the tab.id. So this is the tab. It's active, true, blah blah blah, muted info, muted false. That is complete, selected true. Then we are sending a message within that, but then it fails. Hmm. Hmm. Watching you. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. How's everyone at home? Okay, how do we fix this issue? So we have the send message that uses the current tab ID. We get the active tab, true. We have the permissions as well. We're sending a message in which the first one is supposed to be the tab ID. The second one is supposed to be the message string. The runtime on message events fired when each content script running on the. So this should be working, but it doesn't work. I can't think of a reason why. So we have runtime on message dot add event listener. Maybe I don't have the event properly set. Let's see. So we have a function that is supposed to be like this. And we should have console dot log a request. I don't think anything changes, to be honest, but I'm still skeptical. Let's see. And what is the content script of my other file? So this is the content index.js is the same. Yes, I don't see any differences. Now let's go to the extension, reload this, remove the errors, reload this again, close this, reload the page, reload this, and then we have the extension. No, it doesn't work. All right, now let's Google it. Now that we've tried everything that we know. Chrome extension, content script. Uh, uh, uh. Mm-hmm. So we do have content script, JS, main JS, permission should be all URLs, active tab, tabs, storage, web request. When you attempt to communicate, tabs are send when tabs are connect. The content script not listening for messages. This includes times when a content script does not exist in the tab. Okay. Mm. Mm mm mm. Mm mm mm. I mean, I have already reloaded it a couple of times. In the about debugging. Mhm. So if I look at the extension, where does this come from? So chat, blah blah blah. We have static. No, I don't think this is gonna be the one. We should have the overrides, content scripts. Content script should have restream made. So if I reload this, can I reload this? No. But if I reload the page itself, then we should have the restream made content script as well. But for some reason, it should be running the listener before I send a message. And this doesn't work. No. This script on the debugger ignored list. Remove from ignore list. Click, click, click. No. Yes, play this. No, doesn't work. Okay, in the extension itself, do we have anything else that we can use? So let's have a look. So in the content, index.js. I mean, we could use no. Could remove the console log request. Okay, let's see. So we render the pop-up, we send a TSX, we say now you're gonna run get the current tab, response, Chrome tab send message. Okay, Chrome.tabs dot we have get on activated, blah blah blah. We have the send message API where we need the tab ID. It does have 3 overloads. What are the 3 overloads? Let's have a look. Send message has tab ID and number. Then tab ID, number, and message send options. What are the message send options? Frame ID. Okay, we don't want that. Let's go again there. Then we have send message option, message send options. And the other ones are deprecated. Sends a single message to event listeners within your extension app. Different extension app similar to Runtime Connect, but only sends a single message with optional response. So then should I be able to no? But then but if I do a send message, then is it part of the what is this part of? So send message Chrome runtime. Okay, let's see. If I just want to send a message without the tab ID, then what would happen? So this one is not an overload. So we could use the Hmm. Okay, let's have a look at the other extension as well. Uh, so first of all, can we use the? It looks so bright. So content. In this case, let's have a look at source. manifest JSON. Have we removed anything at all? So default action, blah blah blah. We have the matches. We have permission tabs, and that's pretty much it. If we start working with tabs and not the active tab, would that then work? Let's see. Maybe that's the problem. So if I go with tab and active tab, and then we run build again, and just to make sure we don't have any errors in either this file or that file, and I think we should be good. All right, let's see. Refresh, reload, errors, clear all, reload again, refresh the page again. Listeners are set. If I go here, click this, nope, nothing happens. But now I don't see the errors. So if I click this, no, I see the errors now. Could not establish connection. The receiving end does not exist, but it exists. There's the content script right here. Should I reopen it? Should I refresh? No. All right, I think my brain has stopped working, so I'm gonna take a 5 minutes break, and then we'll continue. So give me 5 minutes. Okay, back. So all right, let's have a look at this and hopefully we'll get it done. So in this case, the active true, maybe also use current window true, so we can get the ID as well. Then let's see if the tab. We'll also look into the active tab and its title, etc., and see if this works. And I think also the here, I think there should be action that we should send. So let's see if this builds and works. And we're gonna finish this soon, hopefully. Let's see. All right. So I'm gonna go to my extensions, reload this, remove the errors, reload the page. Content script is right there. We go to our extension, and there we go. How about that? The 5 minutes break actually works. So now I can see I can now see the action hello from pop-up. Cool. So then I should be able to continue from here. So this action is, for example, let's call it start observing. Okay. And we can actually create a file that we can import in every other file as well. I think we can probably go with the extensions or with these being TypeScript files as well, but maybe let's leave it for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to containers. We also can create a constants.js, or we could say actions.js. Export const start observing messages, and or we could say pop-up actions equals start observing messages, observe start observing messages. And then what we can do is in pop-up tsx we can then say action is pop-up actions. We can probably import this. So let's see if I can import this. So import actions, and here we can say from pop-up actions, from actions. Now this says cannot find declaration for the module action.js. It has the types any. Now the problem is if I want to have the same things here and there. All right, let's see. Let's make this a TypeScript file as well. So we have a TypeScript file here. We have a module. I'm going to remove the module from here. I don't want the print module here. I don't want this guy here as well. Let's save this. Let's also make this component or the actions that we just created. We'll call it actions.ts. If that's the action, then we can just create enums. So we can say something like export enum, pop-up actions, and then we have this guy. So start observing messages. Then we can just say pop-up actions because I like my enums to look like this. Start observing messages. So pop-up actions stays there. Now I can go to my file here, and then now here I can say pop-up actions, and I can import that from actions dot start observing messages. Now that I have this done, I can go to my content script, and here I can now say switch request dot action, because this is going to be of type action. So here I can say type pop-up action, and here we are supposed to actually get a action of type string or of type pop-up action, and then we should also have a payload which can be any. Okay, so yeah, and then this request is actually of type pop-up action. So now we can say case pop-up action pop-up actions. pop-up actions dot start observing messages. If that's the case, then what we need to do is to start observing the messages. So here we can say const observe messages, and then what we need to do is we're gonna look at all these things, and then we can um, sort of keep listening to the new messages. So here, let's go where we have. So here it says something like, let's look at the last messages. So this one, for example, this one. So this is a MUI grid item, right? And then it has some more IDs. I don't like the classes or the IDs to it, so we'll see if there is something better for this, to be honest. But we'll see. And there's no identification as well. Scrollable div, blah blah blah. But MUI grid item, maybe we can look at that. So if I do document dot query listener or query selector all, and if I do this guy, then I get 40 messages, right? And each message can contain the text blah blah blah. So if I try to get the text content of all of them, so let's say for each element console dot log element dot text content, if I do this, then we have, wait a second, for each we get element console log. This is not good, missing after. I think this should be good. What? Oh, text content, this guy. So now you can see a lot of messages right here. Oliver Dunn says, hey, what are you building? We're working on a Chrome extension for Restream Chat. So what I want to do is I want to be able to do this from my Restream Chat. So if I send a message drop, you'll see on my screen a rocket comes in. However, this is only possible for me to do from Twitch, and I want to do it from other platforms as well. If that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. To create a Chrome extension that can look into my chat and then enable this thing. So that means now I can try to do observe messages, and here then I can say something like set interval, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna say parse message, and I'm going to get all the messages and then parse them. So const parse message element HTML div element, and then we are going to do something with that. So when we do set interval, when we start interval, we're going to keep a observe timer. So we can say observe timer, or make it a let equals, and then we should have it by default null, but I want to do it here. So observe timer equals set interval, and we are going to do it every 1500 milliseconds, 1.5 seconds. And then what we want to do is we want to get all the messages like this. So I'm gonna say this is all the items. So const all messages equals this guy. And then what I want to do is to parse each message. So I'm going to send this. I'm going to say all messages dot for each element, and this is going to then send the message to parse message, or I could just say simply parse message element, right? And since this is going to be all HTML div elements, so I can say node list of and then it should be HTML div elements, right? So then yeah, TypeScript is happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. And then I can do then I can do Control K, Control F, and now what I want to do is to just say observe messages whenever this happens. So it's going to start observing messages, and parse element message is just going to parse all the messages. So console log message element. I think that's essentially what we want to do. And I think this should be good. And then we should also have a const of clear or stop observing messages, which should essentially just do this. That it would say clear interval observe timer, and this says implicitly has type any, but this requires a number. So this is going to be of type number or null. And then this one is timer is not assignable to type number. I do want to assign it as number, to be honest, but then this doesn't work. What was this? What was the thing? That we used to do it. Return type set interval. No. How do you do it? TypeScript type interval. Yes. So return type of, yeah, that was the one. Was close, was not close enough. So return type of set interval or null, and then I can say, hey, now what I want to do is I want to just say clear interval and then observe timer, and it says null is not assignable to parameter number undefined, and we can say thinking if I do it null then it doesn't work. So if I I mean this, yeah, in this particular case we would have the observer timer. All right, let's do it this way. So we can say if observer timer not equals to null, then that means that it's okay to work with that, and now we're good. Now we're gonna add another one. So when we do stop observing messages, then we are going to stop it. So case pop-up actions dot stop observing messages, stop observing messages, and then it should stop logging those things and break. Okay, so now we have two of those things. Now we're gonna go to save the actions, and then also in the pop-up we can quickly add two buttons now instead of one. So one is this one. We can say start observing messages, and the other one is going to be stop observing messages. I think we can remove this guy from here, and then we could also have the same thing. So we have stop observing messages. This should get the current tab, send a message of stop observing messages, and this should be this guy. We can remove this. We can also make it smaller to this. On click start observing messages, and directly assigning to this as well. Stop observing messages. Cool. Let's build the application, and we are going to then see if our content script and everything that we are working with here works. And my camera is about to die, and we're gonna then stop the screen if this works, because then we're going to continue it on the next one. So let's reload the extension, go here, refresh this. The content script works, right? And now if I try to go, can you please send some messages in the chat? So if I try to go and do this, you can see it comes here and says hello from popup. And it still shows me the previous one. So it seems like the build did not work. So we do have something that's wrong, and that is, yeah, I think what's wrong. I think I know what's wrong. So content needs to change. There is a place where we have webpack config, and this should be index.ts and not js. And this guy should also, no, it's good. Yeah, content script works with TypeScript, just so we can see that, and then we can start testing. So let's run the build. Because the funny part is that if it doesn't succeed in the build process, then it just doesn't tell us. So hopefully if I now reload the extension, if I do a duplicate, open this, it still says ContentScript works, as you can see. So not with TypeScript. All right, let's see. So when we do if error throw error, shouldn't be rather say, I don't know, console.log, because this is not my code, so I'm not entirely sure if this is what it's supposed to do. But if it is, I don't know. Maybe throw an error and tell me what's going on. So everything worked. And if not, then we can say console.log built successfully. Let's try this once again. Okay, so built successfully, cool. Now if I try to run this again, it still says the old one. I want to reload this. I want to see the errors as well. But I want to reload again. And I want to reload this again. And I want to see the TypeScript one. Okay, so I think now it's uploaded. All right, ContentScript works with TypeScript. Now you can start sending messages. So now if I try to do a extension, so start observing messages, and now you can see that it starts showing those message elements, which just says hooray right now. But I think if we start sending like a drop me, so testing as well, now I can see the message, and now it starts observing every 1500 milliseconds. And now if I go here and if I say stop observing messages, now you can see that it stops. So it does its thing quite well. The only problem I have with this is it doesn't do what I want it to do. It throws a lot of other messages as well, I think. So now if I go and try to find all these elements, I should only be able to find one, but I see 12 of them. This, because there can be a lot of MUI grid items. So what I'm interested in is actually so we have style scrollable. It's really hard to identify which X path we can take to get to the particular message. So we have multi-grid root, multi-grid item. We have so many multi-grid items. This is the scrollable one. Inside we have a scrollable div, and then we have MUI grid item. This could be one of the things that we could start with, I think, because if I change my styles to rather do this, document.query selector selector all, and I do something like class equals or class start equals styles, I think. And if I do this, then I do get the div, and then I can say right inside you have what? You have the source pages content index ts, and inside here we should have a where's my query? Observe messages. Here you are, multi-grid item, MUI grid item. So the ones that are right there. So I only get one now. So let's change this to this. We can maybe create a constant for this. So const messages query, and we can do it like this. And here we can then just say messages element query. Alrighty, let's build this, and then we can test it, and then we can end it. Is this something that you think is exciting? Build successfully. Let's go. Refresh. Reload. And now we should be able to see it. So console, blah, blah, blah. All right. Now if I try to start observing, it should not show me anything at all. So if I go here, and if I start observing the messages, it should get your messages now. So there you go. You got your message. And now since we have put a breakpoint, it goes there all the time. And now you can see that every 1500 milliseconds, I can see the same message that we have. So it's really nice. And now I can say, this is fun. And then we should have 2 of them every 15 seconds. So 2 of them, 2 of them, 2 of them. Maybe add a third one. Now we should have 3 of them, 3 of them, 3 of them. So it now tries to do it nicely, and that means if I go and stop observing messages, now every item or interval is cancelled. So this is super nice. I think this is the first step towards what we wanted to do, because now since I have the element, I can actually have all the logos for this one as well. So I can get like your picture. I wouldn't be saving it anywhere, but I will be essentially sending it in real time. So then when we do something like this, we can have a message that says exclamation drop me. For example, this is what I'm supposed to send. So anyone who sends this from anywhere at all will be able to see themselves on the screen. And I think it's super helpful because then you can do much more with it. And Restream itself, I think, would probably like it because you can extend it as much as possible. But yes, I think we have a good starting point of the extension itself. And with that, I think we are going to, or I'm going to commit this code. So if you want, you can absolutely go ahead and change or update this. Awesome. So let's actually commit this and push it. So git status. Let's do git add. Let's double check what we have here is what we want to send. So cross env, yes. Absolutely. Config.js, we added something. We changed 2 files to TypeScript instead of JavaScript. We created pop-up actions that we're using in both places. We have active tab and tabs. I think we're probably gonna use. All right, let's keep it tabs. Then we have this guy, index.ts, root create container, blah blah blah. Build.js. We have added a really nice message. Maybe add a rocket as well here, just to be sure. So build. Of course, you read only. So build successfully. And maybe a check mark as well. Cool. So we can see that here. Build. Let's add this guy as well. And now we can commit in peace. Cool. And now we can say git commit feature observe. No, we can say pop-up since we are adding it on pop-up. Add start and stop observe messages. Added or using TypeScript for both pop-up and content script. Figured out the tabs communication. Able to start and observe the messages div elements. And what did we do? I think that's pretty much it, right? Here, let's remove the comments that we don't want there. We do want to look at the response as well, but I'm not gonna do that at the moment because we may or may not have a response. Pop-up being rendered. Let's remove this guy. Console log response. Let's keep it for now. Okay, so let's add this one as well. And now we can say that's it. So git push, and we have this pushed. If you want to fork it, if you want to play around with it, you can absolutely do it. No problems at all. And why is it full screen? Okay, cool. Awesome. So having said that, I think that's going to be it. So I'm going to be running off now. And maybe I'll stream next Saturday as well on top of this. So we'll see where we can take this Chrome extension. So thank you everyone who joined. Highly appreciate your messages and the likes that you do on the videos. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and happy coding.